Hello, Warriors. Good turnaround Tuesday to you. It's 11 a.m. EST. That means it's time for Mike and me. Mike, big week, lots of landmines out there with the Fed. Tomorrow, we have the BOE.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we have NFP on Friday. A lot of binary stuff going on. Um, I'm real interested in what you're doing here in front of the Fed. And before I go to a few charts, do you think the Fed is going to deliver for the bulls and give them a cut, or just talk like a dove, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. And you know what? For a
Yeah,
person like yourself, that's probably well versed. I'm really, really micro right now.
yeah,
I was taught, I know this might be binary, that I'm aware that, listen, the rotation is more prevalent than it has been in some time. So it's not like I'm just going to egregiously take a stock and say, oh, it has good volume, price range, and price action. And if the number doesn't go my way, they'll just go right back to that stock, and at least I can get out.
yeah,
That might not be it. Like I said in TradeGATEHub, I mean, I'm just smashing and grabbing, and I'm day trading, and I have my list of things that I like if the rotation is prevalent. And I'm certainly rooting for the mega caps to come in and there to be rotation based
yeah,
upon what I see. I think that's from my money making standpoint, or else I'm probably going to be at the sidelines. And after Powell speaks, I'm going to wait till the option flow settles, maybe 3 to 5 days, and then really know what's going. Nobody's going to be jumping in the pool when the bell goes off. You know what I mean? The real money happens when the dust settles and things are skewed.
the
So
amateurs will.
well, that's what they
The,
do. It's so
yeah,
I appreciate that. And
Fed's a dove by the market. They'll be
well, I'm
all
fair. I've been doing it for 30 years, and I
yeah.
think I can say that I'm not an amateur. So let the
It
amateurs do their thing. I'll smash and
They'll
grab. I'll
fade
try to
them.
build up a cushion, and
I,
then
I
Wednesday, yeah, coach,
I think it's interesting that you have kind of like a 3 day time period to
yeah,
watch option flow to see how things settle out, because after there's some type of seismic shift or something like that,
right.
an earthquake, whatever, you have to see the dust settle before you attack things. And I find that interesting because I see you act a lot on good option flow. Otherwise, sometimes the same day.
And I appreciate that. Let me just extract. Let me expand on that, if you will. The short term, I'm not even looking at option flow. As by the way, I live on option flow. Any option flow position now besides Microsoft binary. I believe it's going to be binary with rotation.
Yeah.
Whether or not the cyclicals bounce, I don't know yet. I'm not saying Microsoft's going to be bad, but let's be
Yeah.
aware. And then
All
you have
right.
the Fed on, and then you have the Fed probably 8 trading hours later
Yeah.
after the Microsoft numbers. So
Yeah.
option flow is irrelevant. They're all short-term hedges. They're
Yeah.
gambles. They're puts. I get it. Uh, and I'm going to wait till after. And I'll wait till after to put some real, to really go in hard. And by
All
the
right.
way,
Yeah.
that's usually what happens. As you
Yeah.
know, we've been doing this
Yeah.
for some time.
Yeah. So I mean, that's great advice to the people out there is, not to be rash after the Fed press, um, the press conference that they have. That's usually the mover, not
And hold
necessarily
on.
unless they cut.
I want to say one other thing, Coach. Microsoft has earnings tonight, and Starbucks has earnings tonight. By the way, too, Starbucks, it's going to move more than you think. Wait till the conference call. That's what's moving stocks. Don't flinch. Don't buy the Taylor Swift tickets when they come right on sale and pay 5 times for it. Relax a little bit. You know what I mean? You'll get a seat and you'll probably pay better. So wait till after the conference calls. Don't be a hero, because if you're down on any of these positions and God forbid Powell goes against you, it's going to you'll be down 3 times as much. It'll be like 3 to 1. You'll risk losing 3 times your money to making probably maybe double or even like a little bit at best. I see it.
That's
You know what I
great.
mean?
You put out enough pearls during our talks here, Mike, to string a necklace that uh, Mrs. Cleaver would be proud to wear. A necklace of Mike Venezia pearls.
Well, a couple of
So
things, Coach. Been doing it
anyway,
for. Go ahead.
I want to follow up on this Nat Gas that we talked about last week.
All right.
So, after we had this gap down and we filled it, I said, that's good. It's an exhaustion gap, but that the 4 hour was confirming that break, so that after the rally, we would still see another low. Here's a daily, it's still diverging. The daily diverged, but the 4 and 2 hour did not. Well, now they are. Okay, so I think that the Widowmaker that has taken out there's plenty of widows out there. So I'm hiding out. There's lots of widows looking for husbands after this move in the natural gas.
Move down. I already
But
tried that. The rich ones in Boca Raton, they didn't bite.
yeah. All right. Anyway, so I think you have to go with the first reversal day now. Okay, preferably a key reversal where you have the market making new lows for the move, taking out the prior day's high and closing on a candle like that. And I think we're closer to the bottom. And this is political too, because Biden
Correct. That's
Biden
right.
did something about pausing on natural gas production and development. And then the other thing I want to talk about is what everyone else is. Number one, I believe, issue that we have in our country is the border crisis, right?
It's horrible. I mean,
Okay, so
you want to talk political? We don't do that.
yeah,
I mean, I
I'm
watched
not.
it. Even Elon Musk sends out these videos. It's like they open the gates to a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah. Anyway,
Incredible. Wow.
the Mexican peso. All right, the Mexican peso was, 27 a few years ago. Look, and really strengthened till you only got 17
That's a great
pesos for
chart.
the
I
dollar,
like that.
right? So we had we're putting in a higher low here. And if the catalyst could be closing the border, which shifts the economic expense and responsibility from us to Mexico, to where they may even have to close their own borders. And a lot of people are bullish Mexico.
I
And
can tell you one
it's
Mexican. I can tell you one Mexican cement maker that's making year highs.
okay,
Yeah, no, I agree in that. I've heard that.
and they're bullish because of the reshoring of production and everything going into Mexico. And um, it's not cheap. It's not a secret anymore. But I learned something this week. I talked to a trader who's out of Turkey, and they've suffered one of the largest currency devaluations I've seen in my career, the Turkish lira. And I go, how do people manage that in Turkey? You know what he said? Whenever I get something in lira, I just buy stocks. So, and I've noticed that before that, and it happens here in the US. When the dollar's weak, it's usually supportive for the market. So if the peso, which has been strong for quite some time, and this pattern, it develops and we get a breakout over 1740, that might be jet fuel for Mexican equities.
I have a
What do you
couple right
think?
now. Yeah. No, it's not the first I've heard. You actually reopened my eyes. There's always something to do. Listen, it's fair to place something. I mean, I wouldn't talk somebody out of parking some money in there if the market's going to pull back here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Nothing's changed with Apple. It's still an underperformer.
It's getting bear
Uh,
calls, by the way.
Bear puts,
Yep.
and it didn't the prior couple high. It didn't up here when I
No.
was short. It didn't way back here, but now it is.
Yep.
And what's the strike they're going with?
I'll get back to you on that one, coach.
Okay,
Hold on. No, hold on.
because
Keep going. Keep going. It's all good.
under 180, it has problems.
It's like
160 minimum under 180. It held the 200-day. You pointed that out a few weeks ago.
187 puts. 187.
Well, okay, so they're at the
187.
money right now.
Yeah. That
187
means they're
puts.
basically trading it with the market. That's
Okay,
all.
so they're not going deep out of the money. How
No,
much
not yet.
time? How much time?
Uh, February.
Okay, so within a month, they're just, it's kind of a way to manage risk and be short from 187. All you do is lose a premium if you're wrong. So
That's true.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Okay, so I just wanted to point Apple out. It still looks crummy to me. And I just have one more story, and I bet you remember this. Did you happen to see the interview that I did last Wednesday with Bill Henner? And I happened to know his uncle. I used to hand his uncle. I didn't know when I brought him in. I used to hand his uncle orders in the pork belly pit,
That's
and his dad
incredible.
was down there on the floor too, and they got Bill going. And he sent me a text on X Friday, and it was about the Intel downgrade. So
Oh, I
let
heard
me
that. Yes, I did hear that, that it's
did
reminiscent of 2008,
2000, the
2000. I'm sorry.
dot
Right.
com. So could AI be dot com? Anyway, he said that that was a like a flashback to him because, and I talked to Gary Kaltbaum today, and he remembers it. And but the market fell apart right away after that downgrade. The dot coms started coming down. But so Intel, I think, is a problem. It looks like a broken stock, kind of like
It is.
Oracle looked like.
That's
But
true.
at
Good
the,
coach. Great analogy. You're
you
right.
know, so
And
anyway,
Oracle
that
was the first to crack. About two weeks later, the rest of them cracked.
right,
I remember that.
right,
Should
okay. So
remember.
anyway, there's cracks in the foundation of this rally. I'm not saying we can't go 5,000 with the leaders that still have good mo, but I don't think you could ignore the way Apple's acting or the way Intel's acting, and some broken stocks that are pretty big market cap stocks. So that's all I have. One last thing, gold started off sharply higher.
Yep.
It's come off. Silver, same
Help.
thing, kind of a negative day. And people that have been listening to us haven't missed anything in the miners yet. They're still on the verge of new lows. Here's GDX. It doesn't look so great. I think we could see, 25. Newmont still doesn't look so
Sold
great.
it this morning at the high.
Okay, here's shorted. You shorted it?
I came in long it.
Okay. Here's the junior miners in silver. Not so good. And this one almost took out the low for the move. First Majestic. It still doesn't look good. EK that looks so cheap still hasn't done anything right. Um, and SSRM had a little update. I think we're getting closer, Mike, but I think we need one more flush in the metals. Here's your SSRM. Still, it's rare to see a blue candle. But when I get to the gold up here, I think that if we take out yesterday's low in gold, where is it? Okay, here, which
I want to
was
hit. If we take out
2020.
yesterday's low,
Yeah, 2020 was yesterday's low.
yeah,
Let me just show it to you. All right, this candle right here,
yeah,
or for sure 2010. So this was $60 here.
I see. I got looking at my
So
chart too.
maybe
I'm
we
trying.
get 100 from here. It gives you 1950 gold. So that's what I'm looking for, 1950, 1940. I wonder how the miners are going to survive another $80 break in gold. That's going to be interesting. And silver, I still think that there's one more low left, rally right to resistance, especially if we get back under 2240. I think we'll see the low 21s. So I want to know what you're doing today and what you're seeing, bro. And but keep an eye on that Nat Gas. I think we're knocking on the door. Uh, uh, there's no one long Nat Gas right now. I don't think. I haven't looked at commitment of traders, but I think it's a sleeper now that everyone has tire tracks on their back from trying to buy it for a year. That's
It's a
it.
high level opinion, and I know why you get it.
That's all I know for now. And turn over the charts to you.
Thanks, Coach. Great freaking segue, by the way. Hold on a second.
Well, you help make it that way because
Appreciate that.
we
I know
go.
you're not the type to placate.
We
Okay,
go
let's
here.
go to TGH. TradeView Markets, TGH this morning. A couple of things, and I'm going to basically answer your questions. But this is where we are in terms of 50-day moving averages and sentiment. We're a couple of standard deviations, which is rare in a lot of these technology moves. And you could see the rest on TGH, go through at your own time. So is Microsoft priced to for perfection. I'm not quite sure. You know, you think a lot of these other stocks would be up a lot more as I go to my screen in a second with the price action in SMCI. But like I said, Microsoft is basically a binary move, in my opinion. Okay, a couple of things. As we always give upgrades and downgrades, a chart on the Qs looking like a bull flag. We'll see. Always upgrades and downgrades, initiations. This is what I said before, and this is where I got it, Coach. Today, the market's beginning a real earnings season. Remember, many calls are conference calls, like Starbucks and Microsoft. Let's not jump. I trade a lot of calls, Coach. It's going to be a big, it's going to be a big move here. I might set some things. All right, General Motors had earnings. We took it into earnings. We said that we took it a little bit. Chart on the Qs, IWMs. This is the way I'm playing it too. I think it already said it. As a Rev Shark, a friend of ours and a long-term friend of mine, if you will. I'm hopeful that the AA frenzy might cool a bit on Microsoft and trigger rotation to many stocks that are good values that are lagging. That's how I'm playing it now. I'm certainly not going to, Microsoft's down 40. Am I going to buy it on the dip and say this is this? It's going to, they're going to tip their hand elsewise. They're already tipping their hand now with crude actually rallying. Okay. The most important stock right now is Microsoft. Okay. Where are we going? Stocks that are moving with relative strength. I gave a ton of buy trades this morning, as well as yours. So let me go back into a couple of things. Let me go to the charts. Okay, General Motors had good numbers. Is it surprising they took some profits? No. SMCI, where are you? Okay, the stock was trading 516. Now it's 517. Yeah. AMD, you think would be positive? AMD is the short. The sale right now, Coach. A lot of people that I know have got out in the stock completely. I'm not saying it's going to go down, it can't go up, but that's what I'm seeing on AMD. The former highs on the Magnificent Seven. What are they doing? Obviously, Microsoft needs no introduction to earning. Amazon, is that a one-day reversal? Not sure. The volume's actually not that bad. Google, okay, now it's a one-day. You don't know if this is the start of something or right. It's going to be predicated upon the Microsoft move and Powell. So that's why I'm not looking at option volume. I'm looking at good moves. RVSN, we've been in it. Okay, the stock has went from 2 to 24. There's plenty to do. And
I wonder if Powell doesn't sound like a dove, and the market's expecting it. I think, until today's number, 10-year yield started popping up again. That what Powell does might even have more effect and impact on the markets than earnings. What do you think?
He's got.
If he disappoints.
Something has to be awry for it to go. Coach, all the other ones went kind of smoothly when they were more precipitate, when there wasn't even a clearer picture. Things went smoother than this. I mean, when things went smooth. So I know everybody's complacent. I know where the VIX is. I'm aware. I'm obviously aware of where the bonds and the dollar. I'm aware of everything. There's no. That's why the VIX is so low. There's my screen. There's no cause for concern, and it was always a place to hide. I have a buy list. If the market has been, whatever the way that Powell speaks, benign, bullish, I have a list on both ways. You know what I mean? So it's not like I say I'm stepping away, I'm going in all cash. There's a lot of things to do. I got a lot of things to do.
I saw a couple of uranium issues, and they all just had little normal pullbacks and looked pretty good, like they're going to run again.
I had a lot of UAC. I covered it maybe 737. I thought it was going to break here.
These have new highs in them.
I know. I thought it was going to break, and I went to the.
We just had a little. They're all flagging. Yeah. Okay.
And like they said, Coach, when they broke their gap, and then they broke three important moving averages, including the 50-day, and then held and went in the gap. I think that's very very bullish to me. They had their chance to blow it out right there.
All right, give me a Nat Gas stock that you like.
SM.
Yeah, that's held up like a champion.
You can look at any other oil stock. It's above the moving averages. Yeah. I'm in it with the fund. You can also go to SU.
And you're wrong under 35.
I love
real
this stock.
nice relative strength on that one, man.
Yeah,
Good pick.
yeah.
They have earnings coming
SU
in.
SU had nice numbers. It had
That
see
looks
this
good.
SU. They had a nice move on big news. Then they
Uh-huh.
gapped it below. It just
So here's a question I ask myself when I look at a sector like this and the stocks that you just showed me. I go, wow, have they held up great with a crash in natural gas? What a headwind that should be for the company. So I say, if they could perform with a headwind of crashing natural gas, which is their product, it's what they sell, what's going to happen if we get a rally and natural gas prices become start increasing? They're really going to fly
well.
because they did well in the worst kind of environment. So if the environment improves, they're only going to get stronger.
Well,
That's what I say to myself.
well, this Chesapeake was on the cover of a Barron saying it was a buy. Also in Nat Gas places, everybody.
Oh, okay. All
Chesapeake's
right.
like the poster child. But you know what, Coach? Let's go back to the ones taking the most calls. And I've been saying it since the open. I'm sure you've seen it. Which ones, Coach?
City?
Bank of America. Taking a ton of calls all morning.
Wow.
All morning. I posted it.
You know, Wells looked a little funky, but
It always looks
the
funky. It's got
does
like
it?
it's got decades of stuff to clear up on it.
Oh,
But
still, yeah, that's a pretty good divergence in Wells. I'd avoid it. But you're
is
right, the
City
financials look great. So, um,
There's Bank
I
of
don't know.
America's weekly. Probably
Yeah,
pulls back and shakes everybody out to like under 34. Right there's a weekly, but
yeah.
it's taking the right kind of flow. It's going in the right direction.
They're not worried about the Fed.
No, and they're taking the coach. They're going. They're not playing weeklies. They're not like saying we're going to play the rotation and maybe Microsoft is down and maybe they pop. No, they're saying I don't care where Bank of America is in January or February, but come April and June, we're okay.
All right. You know, we've had a hell of a rally after a $10,000 break in Bitcoin from 49 to 39 or 40, and we bounced pretty good this week. I'm looking at this bounce in Bitcoin as being a just a bear market. Well, not a bear market, but I'm looking for about 32,000
I
in
am too.
Bitcoin.
I am too. And I
Okay,
should be
so
shorting this riot right here.
yeah,
Not
have a
coin.
right. Yeah,
I should be
that's where
shorting
it's
this
going.
stock right there
Yeah, it's going to that longer term moving average.
aggressively.
Yeah, okay. So I just thought I'd bring that
After the
up.
third day up, and now it broke the 10-day.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
that does not look good. That it looks like it was a head and shoulders top at 1350 to 1850. That gives you 850 on the breakdown. See
Another one,
that?
CLSK.
Looks the same. Rallied back to the breakdown, failing.
I agree.
Okay.
Schlumberger had a ton of insider selling. They knocked the stock down a lot for some reason.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that it was a great buy. I mean, I told you the
And
flush.
how could you have known with yesterday's close that this was going to happen today? I mean,
Look
look
at
at that
Halliburton.
close.
Halliburton was the reason to keep buying it. Look at Hal. Hal had Hal had the day. Hal had a great move. Had a day off of rest with low volume and was ready to resume. Now people are stuck in it. Now if you're long, and I'd sell it right at these where everything converges. You got lucky.
Well,
Considering
I would say, Mike, that we've probably provided at least 10, a minimum 10 real good ideas on stocks and sectors and currency and commodities. But well done.
yeah, well,
In a
yeah,
short,
no,
I mean, really, things that if people watch that are actionable. We're not just saying, well, if the market goes up but then hits resistance and it comes down, but support holds and it goes back up again, it's a buy unless it declines.
no.
That's most of the analysis that you get in financial media. They're two-handed. If this, then that, if this, then that. So it's always, it paralyzes people. It
Well,
paralyzes
you're telling
people.
it's binary. It's not. You can't. You have to have a couple of tools, but you
Take a
should have a couple.
stand. You know what? If you're wrong, so what? You know, it's cathartic. I think everyone should say, I was wrong.
Of course, coach. I'm wrong all the time.
I don't know.
Don't come on,
People's
please.
egos won't let them say it, and they would become better traders and people. if they owned it, instead of saying, oh, I got burned in the end. You didn't get burned in the end. You put on a bad trade in the end. Oh, I got burned in Apple because they defended my strike price and my options expired. I didn't get burned in Apple. I had some premium I could have taken.
I know, I
It was
remember.
my decision.
Right.
So, it wasn't, oh, these guys knew it's rigged. And, anyway,
Coach, I've never met a successful trader that complained.
yeah.
And
Okay.
I've been around thousands.
Yeah.
There might be one that is sarcastic, but they complain. I've never met a rich, angry trader ever.
No,
Ever.
in Yiddish, it's called a kvetch.
Right.
So, anyway, no kvetching allowed. Anyway, so what do you want to wrap it with, Mike? I know you
Well,
got a
listen,
lot of,
like I said, if you're if you got this far, you're listening now. The most important thing is there's a lot going on, a lot of opportunity, even more so going forward with Microsoft, Powell, how everybody reacts at the end of the week. So, you know, there's plenty of chance to be a hero after. The odds of you here being a hero at this point before are slim. Uh, it's just a law of trading. Losses cascade more than winners accrue. It's how it happens. It's just how it happens.
I've said this is true too. Unless you're really a pro, it's a good week not to trade.
No, I agree. No, I agree, Coach.
For
Absolutely.
most people, it's a good week to be a spectator. And, have your major levels ready in case some of these events take it to those levels, and you could put something on, but you trade a little smaller, and it's okay to wait until after the NFP on Friday. And like Mike does, watch the flow for a few days to really get instead of the emotional responses in the market, you're getting the real money telling you the story. Markets give messages. Open your ears and
Opinions,
listen to it.
opinions are wrong. Markets aren't wrong.
No,
Another
respect the
one, get an
power of the
account. Either way,
market.
you want to trade it, go either get a live account, a demo account, and I had something else to say upon that. Uh, yeah, that's it. Exxon highs, crude near the highs. Just don't look. I know what I was going to say, Coach, and I'll leave it off as we say a lot of times. I just keep wanting to talk. But don't, before and after, Coach, what Coach meant to say, oh, actually, I'll say it another way. Don't worry about nickels and dimes when there's dollars to be made. That's the real where the where you either know how to trade or know how to trade and make money. It's the difference. I knew I always had to trade. It's the difference between knowing how to trade and make money, because you can be right. The job is to make money, not be right, and that's where it'll change over.
Yeah. And knowing how to exit.
Yeah, sure. No, exactly. Okay.
You
So
know,
thanks, Coach.
anyway, you're welcome, buddy. So I have Tom Luongo tomorrow,
What time?
and he's a pretty interesting guy. He has a lot of followers. I'm going to ask him what he's thinking before the Fed tomorrow. So it
Well,
should
I'll be
be good.
interested to see. And
Yeah,
anybody wants to watch that, go to the Red YouTube channel. You can always watch the replays of Coach and I approaching 4,000 subscribers, and we'll have it probably by the end of the month, the way we're going. Always watch the videos. Coach's video tomorrow with a great guest, and always the ones that we do. So get a picture of what we do. Uh, it's our dossier. We're already getting a lot of views. You and I got what, Coach? What was it? A couple of days ago?
yeah, I don't know. It's
We got a lot of views
300.
the other day,
Yeah.
like
Anyway,
500 views.
we're teaching here too. I mean, there are a lot of good ideas, but we hope you're getting it. Come
It's a
in the room if you're not getting it and ask questions,
yeah, you
because
don't
we're late.
get, all right.
Go ahead.
You don't get unless you ask, and it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
I make a doctor's salary. I mean, doctors spend 12 years in school to get that way. I've spent 30. So we know what we're doing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're bringing 70 years of trading
Just
experience to
70.
the table.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Between us,
Mhm.
60 for me and 10 for you.
It feels like 10.
Just kidding.
You know what? It still
That's
feels
how
like
it
10.
feels.
I'll take it.
Huh?
Still
All
feels
right.
like 10.
And
I
it
got it
feels
in.
like that for me too, Mike.
You got it,
I'm
Coach.
going to go lay down for a while. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Well, you're in San Diego. I'm in New York, so I still got a little bit before my nap. About an
All
hour.
right, all right, buddy.
All right.
So
Cheers,
don't just
everyone.
count your pips, count your blessings. Mike and I'll see you in the room.
Cheers. Thanks for sharing. Have a plan.